Alright, hi, I'm Sean.
Hey.
I'm Brooke.
Hi.
My name's Andrew Glaza.
Yep.
So, how long have you worked in the food industry, or did you work in the food industry?
I worked in the food industry for 16, 17 years, basically from the age of 15 to 32-ish. So.
And how long were you like a chef or a cook for that part of it?
Well, in the food industry, you kind of progress. So you start by cooking little things, and then you start cooking all the things. I guess you could say I was a chef for probably the last 10 of those 17 years, like a full-time chef, sure.
And I guess you worked at a ton of places, but
Yep.
what were like some of the ones that you worked at for a long time?
Some of the ones that I worked at for a long time were the Lakewood Center Country Club. I worked there on and off for like 5-6 years, mostly in the summer. Some of the other places I worked at were the Tornado Room, Blue Marlin. Trying to think of some other long-term assignments. Those would probably be the longest ones. So.
Okay.
Did you have like a favorite dish you like to make, or what? Were you a pastry chef? Is that what your job was?
I was a baker, and I really liked baking bread. I don't have a favorite dish to make, but baking bread was probably the most memorable and enjoyable shift. So, baking bagels, loaves of bread, whatever. That's what I really like to do. So.
Cool. All right. Have you worked in places besides Madison, or kind of? I know you've traveled a lot.
I did go. Sure. When I was in Bulgaria, I was there for 6 months, and I got to spend some time in the kitchens there. It was a lot different because the language, was a big hurdle. But I was able to kind of learn their flavors pretty well. But no, Madison's pretty much where I like to cook. We have a very good, diverse scene, so you can do a lot of different things, and people give you room to experiment, where in some of the bigger cities, you're under such a microscope. It's so regimented, like, do this our way.
So, like, the culture in the kitchen is different based on cities, you think?
Oh, for
Definitely.
sure. Like, New York is, like, probably the gold standard of the world. Like, that's the place to be. And if you can make it there, then you can go to, like, Chicago, San Francisco a lot easier if you've made it in New York.
Did you notice that in Bulgaria? Was it more anything different than Madison or here?
Well, it's, in Europe in general, it tends to be very family oriented. Like, there are big hotels that have, like, celebrity chefs, but it's not like in America. It's a lot of, like, and this is how I feel it should be. In Europe, it's based on your reputation. It's the name on the restaurant, not the name in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the name in the kitchen isn't there. They're selling cookbooks or their pots and pans line.
Mm-hmm.
In Europe, it's the place, because it's the family. It's the mother, the daughter, the son. It's a very family-oriented business. So they keep it in the family. They keep the consistency in the family, and that's what builds most reputations. Well, I guess outside of like Paris, but
yeah. Is there? Do people eat out like at restaurants as frequently, as far as you know?
Well, Bulgaria is a little bit different because it's, it's not a very Western style country. But I mean, compared to America, no. But do they eat out a fair amount in their area of the world? It's about once or twice a week, maybe. So yeah, I would say so.
So there you said that it's more like a family business type of thing.
Sure.
Do you get more interaction with like the customers over there, or more so than here?
Well, I mean, they still have people who wait on you. You still have servers. But the mother who mid like the gnocchi in the morning might be like at a table like drinking red wine like all night long. So in that sense, yeah, you kind of get more interaction with, you know, the core members of the staff than opposed to, how do I want to say this? Than opposed to like, you know, just a machine working in the background that's a bunch of line cooks and so on and so forth.
As far as like working as a chef, is most of your day spent interacting with other chefs, waiters? I mean, management. What's like the relationships there?
Sure, and you know, you can I think
I'm sure
it kind of
depends.
yeah, it depends a lot on like who you have and who your staff is. Like if you're in a small place, you're doing a lot of everything. You're cooking, you're clearing dishes, you might be dishwashing. If it's a small place that you kind of run with like 2 other people. In some of the bigger places, you kind of micromanage a little bit more until you get to like the big place where you don't do a lot of cooking. You oversee the whole production, but you're not really touching a lot of food.
Oh, really?
So it just kind of depends. Like if somebody's better at grilling than me, I'm gonna put them on the grill station. I'm not gonna let my title
Yeah.
dictate. You know, I want the food to be as best as it can be. And if somebody can make something or do something better, they'll do that. I'll step back and be more of a manager.
Is it pretty competitive as far as things like that, or
Oh, sure.
between chefs?
Food Network has made rock stars out of chefs.
Yeah.
Now everyone wants to be the next rock star chef. So you get a lot of people who are, it's a very cutthroat industry, and there's culinary schools churning out 20, 30 people every couple of months with degrees, if you will.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super competitive. I would say it's competitive to the detriment of the industry, because a lot of people want to be a rock star, but they don't realize how hard it is. So you get a lot of burnout as a result of it. It's a hard lifestyle for sure.
As far as creativity in cooking, have you had jobs where you got to be creative, like making your own recipes? Or
Yeah, I think, and that kind of depends on your owner. Like if you got a really great owner who trusts you, they'll give you a long leash, you know. But like in some of those bigger, more, you know, I'm Mario Batali, this is my place, they're going to keep you on a really short leash,
Yeah.
you know. So it just depends.
Does that make a huge difference as far as like how nice it is to work at a place if you have some creativity versus
Yeah.
just
I think it for
cooking?
me it does. Like I don't mind doing what I'm told to do, but if I have a better idea, I'd like to bring it to you and at least have you consider it. So it depends on the individual, but yeah, I think it matters a lot.
So in your previous jobs, have you gotten some say over the menus and gotten to
I've had
create
jobs
the
where
menus?
the whole menu was mine,
Okay.
so yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, it's pretty nice when that happens.
Yeah. Is there like a special like cuisine or something that you like to make or
Um,
put on the menu, like specialize in?
No, so in Bulgaria, they don't, like, I'm a vegetarian, but I don't mind cooking meat. I love making sausage. I love, like, brining meats and stuff like that. I make really good bacon. But in Bulgaria, they don't eat a lot of meat. And it's a lot of, like, taking what they have and just making it taste the best as it can. Like, anyone can take lobster and make it taste good. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be a moron to screw it up. But to take, like, you know, bone marrow, well, not bone marrow, but like chuck roast or something, and make it taste good. Like, it's the time and the technique that matters more than I think, well, almost as much as the ingredients. And so I really like making peasant-style food, like rough cuts of meat, you know, root vegetables. Yeah, and making them taste good. Like, taking the time to make, just get the best